Hey YouTube, I just wanted to do a video here and take this opportunity to do a little comparison, give you my thoughts between a 2000 year Super Duty with the 7.3 liter diesel and my new 2016 with the 6.7 diesel. I happen to be at a stoplight right now, which is good timing because one of the things I want to point out is the difference in road noise. So here's just acceleration from a stoplight. Traffic ahead of me is pulling away from me, so I'm not, flooring it. I'm behind, the other traffic. It went above 2,000 RPM. And I'm not sure how well the sound is going to pick up on this video, but you couldn't hear that 7.3 liter diesel. And a lot of people like that. Honestly, there's parts of it that I like. Now this is a 2000, this is actually an Excursion, a diesel Excursion. This is my work vehicle, or one of my work vehicles. It's got 310,000 miles on it, so yeah, it's 16 years old with 300,000 miles. So it's not a totally fair comparison, but nonetheless I think it'll give you a sense of some differences. The main difference is, just in the driving characteristics. The 7.3 is a great engine, there's no question about that. It's loud, it has that old school diesel clatter. A lot of people like that. I like that. Well, I liked it. But, man, once you get used to a quiet diesel, this just seems foolish, to be honest with you. It's hard to have a conversation on the phone in here. I commute frequently about 2 hours each way, so 4 hours per workday in the vehicle when I commute, and it's hard to have a phone call. It really is. I do a lot of phone meetings and call vendors and things like that, and it's annoying and it can be difficult. That's totally non-existent in the new truck. Another big difference is just in the driving. You can see when I accelerate, and again, I'm not accelerating, super hard here, as you can see there by the speedometer and the tach. But this feels sluggish. It feels slow. It oftentimes feels like the engine is lugging down a little bit. You come to a little hill. We'll see if I come up to a hill here. But the engine, it lugs down, and it sometimes will shift down into third gear. I'm pretty sure that this has a 373 rear axle ratio. I'm not positive, but I'll say 90% sure that's what it is. So, it has a little more aggressive, so to speak, gear ratio than my current truck does, which is the 355. But man, that 6.7 with the 6-speed transmission, it'll stay in 6th gear most of the time, and even when the RPMs get down in the 1100 range, it doesn't feel like it's lugging like this does. So those are some big differences there. The steering is way more responsive in the new truck. Brakes, are better. All sorts of things like that. But really, the night and day difference is just in the engine and transmission combination. The mileage on this, by the way, on this trip I'm doing right now, I do track my mileage, and I always get between 14 and 16 in the Excursion here. And I'm not an aggressive driver. I try to actually maximize my fuel economy as much as is reasonably possible. With my new truck, I've done the trip 2 times, and I'm getting between 18 and 20 on average. So, there's a pretty good 4 miles per gallon difference between this 7.3 and the new Super Duty with the 6.7 and the 355 gears. I don't know what the 373 gear would be, or 410, or anything else for that matter. The ride characteristics and just sort of the creature comforts, there's just no comparison. This is a 2000, so it's not that old. It's Lariat package, so it's roughly equivalent to what I have in my new truck. You know, man, 16 years of engineering is really nice. Seats are dramatically more comfortable in the new truck. Just, you know, and whether you have the touch screen, you know, monitor like I have, and the voice activated controls and stuff or not. I mean, just even just the manual radio buttons and stuff, just nicer, better, easier to use, especially if you're wearing gloves or you just need to make a quick change on something. Visibility, I think, is actually improved, even though there's more material. You know, the pillars, the dash is a little bit bigger. So even though there's like more material in the new truck, I think that the overall visibility and just sort of sense of command that you have, so to speak, is actually significantly better. You know, another sort of personal feeling I have is before my new Super Duty, I had a 2007 Ram 2500. I had the gas Hemi engine and the G56 manual transmission. And man, I loved that truck. And I was always so relieved to be done with work and, you know, get back from my commute, if I was commuting that day and driving the Excursion, and get in my Ram, because it's just more comfortable in it, and I just liked the feeling of it. It felt much more truck-like, and I don't really know how to describe that, but it just felt truck-like. And you know, I guess my new Super Duty does not feel as truck-like in that sense as the Ram did. But it doesn't feel like this Excursion does either. The Excursion, and by the way, my father-in-law has a 99 F350 Lariat Super Duty with the 7.3 diesel. And I've spent a lot of miles driving and riding in that, long road trips and hauling trailers and everything else. And it's, for all intents and purposes, nearly identical to this Excursion. So in my opinion, they're fairly interchangeable from a, you know, real-world user perspective. But anyway, I've always felt like the Excursion and my father-in-law's Super Duty, you know, kind of feel like an old Cadillac or an old Lincoln, or, you know, town car or something like that, that just sort of like, it's a boat, you know, it just sort of floats on down the road. I've never felt that they have seemed very truck-like in the sense that my Ram did. So the new Super Duty does not feel that way. It feels solid, and it feels very confident on the road, and it feels like you're just ready to do anything. But it's different than the Ram does, you know, or did. The Ram felt like, you know, the springs were just so tight on it, like, man, you could feel every little bump. And I kind of liked that, because it made me feel, you know, like I was in some like tough off-road truck or something like that. And I think that the new Super Duty really, really knocks it out of the park in taking the ride characteristics of the Excursion, or the older Super Duty. It's a softer ride, it's way more comfortable, but somehow matching that with the sort of the confidence and the stance of the Ram, where it doesn't feel like I'm just floating down the road in an old town car or something like that. I feel like I'm driving a luxury car that is combined with a very, very capable truck. So those are just some thoughts I had. I think this is getting a little long. I'm kind of rambling, so I'm going to end it here. But let me know if you have any questions or other comments or thoughts. Feel free to share something, feel free, please like and share the video. And thanks for watching.